Hello, and welcome to the Cleveland International Film Festival Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for Coachable. My name is Eric Siler, Professor of Film, Media Arts, and Communication, as well as moderator for this conversation. We are very pleased to be joined by the director of Coachable, Jake Alexander McAfee. Jake is joining us from New York. Hello, Jake, and welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Okay. The film Coachable. How did it come up? Are you a former ball player that just was itching to like reach the youth again? Says, okay, my playing days are over. Let me come with the film and do something. Tell us a little bit about this development of this film.
Okay, well, ironically, sports led to me being a filmmaker because I realized my freshman year in high school that I wasn't a very good athlete, and I joined the photo club and started taking pictures of the athletes. So that and photography led to filmmaking. So here I am. So yeah, in a roundabout way, yeah, sports led me here.
Okay, well, great. This film was part of, for the audience, we had a chance to talk, Jake and I beforehand, and this film is part of the Allen Houston Foundation. Allen Houston is a former NBA player. He played with the Pistons and the Knicks, and he's also friends with Jake. So can you, Jake, tell us a little bit about how you and Allen Houston connected and actually how this project got started?
Yeah, well, Alan and I, we became friends, and he created a foundation to promote family unity, in particular, fathers being involved in their sons' lives. And he also followed my career as a filmmaker and commercial director. And we've collaborated a couple of times on things to market his foundation. And he created a book that he wanted to promote, as well as promote his foundation. And he asked if I could create a story that would engage an audience and be an actual film, but at the same time, let the audience know about some of the things that his foundation were doing, and hopefully bring interest from the film to his foundation and continue on with that philosophy.
That's wonderful. And what has the reaction been by Allen Houston and the foundation to the film?
They're excited. They're excited. Cleveland, Ohio in particular, you guys are one of the first audiences to see the film due to the setbacks from the pandemic and things. We put it on the shelf for a little while. But we did have a premiere screening at this past year's All-Star weekend in Chicago. And we showed it to about 400 high school students there in Chicago during that weekend. And the reception was great. We were very pleased. It created a conversation, and that's you want a film like this to be entertaining, but at the same time you want to create a conversation after that film.
Exactly, you do. And the message in the film, Fizzle, faith, integrity, sacrifice, leadership, and legacy, that is something that's real and that's part of Allen Houston's foundation. It's something that wasn't made up. Is that correct?
Right. That is very true. That's very true.
Exactly. So that's really good to have a film to help promote that message as well. Now let's talk a little bit more specifically about the film. I know you're in New York, but the film was shot in Detroit. How long did it take to make the film?
We kept things small in regards to a tight-knit group of people that we were working with in regards to our crew. We tried to keep our locations condensed, so we weren't doing that much moving around in regards to location moves and things like that. So it took us week and a half. That's including some pickup shots, and there was one scene that I wanted to reshoot. So a week and a half.
Okay, that's pretty good to get it done within that time frame. And in regards to the cast, I think you did a really good job of casting, as they say, real youth, instead of getting 20 something year olds to play 15 or 16-year-olds.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really good. Did you did you know any of the actors, or did you go through an audition process to obtain your actors?
Yeah, well, we went through an audition process. I'm originally from Detroit. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to shoot the film there. I've shot things in Detroit in the past with like artists, well, Eminem and 50 Cent. I've done things like that there, but never told a story there. So I wanted to tell a story in Detroit. In regards to the cast was amazing. They were put together by area casting directors. Um, I hired a producer from the Detroit area so I could hit the ground kind of running in regards to having the knowledge and to where the resources are and who to contact and who to speak with. Through luck and the efforts of a lot of people, we were able to put together a really nice cast of actors.
Right, you did. Daquan did a really that character. Daquan was really good.
Mr. Sharif, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
sure.
yes,
Yes, exactly. He was good.
yeah.
And there's something, and the main character, Coach Cooper. There's something interesting about him. Can you share with our audience your connection with Coach Cooper, Richard Mason?
Well, it was going through the casting process. There were so many people that I saw for Coach Cooper. Now that I remember, but it was just something in regards to his day job was as a coder. So I wanted someone who fit that mold, but also looked like they could be in that world of basketball and taking an interest in kids and wanting to coach them at the same time. And he fit that mold. What I did not know until we were well into production is that we were related. So that was interesting. My uncle came to visit the set one day, and I see Richard talking to my uncle, and so eventually we got to talking. And I'm like, "How do you know my uncle?" He's like, "What are you talking about? That's my cousin." So yeah, we're related.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh,
Yeah, small
what a
world.
coincidence. Exactly, small world. Other people would
Yeah.
say, "Oh, of course, he put his cousin in the film."
No,
Sure.
no, no, that was after the fact. But I'm happy. I'm more than happy that he was in the film. But no, that was totally after the fact. Yeah.
Exactly. We know that. That's really good how that worked out. In terms of the lo- locations of the film, I know you shot around different areas of Detroit, and you shot around also in gyms as well too. When you came up with the story, were you thinking more about the setting dictating the story, or did you have the story in mind and then you wanted to put the story into the setting? Which came first, so they meshed together?
Oh wow. I wanted to make Detroit a character in the film, so I wanted to set that off from the very beginning, and then I knew that in regards to like locations, it doesn't matter where you shoot in New York. It's New York. You might be in the Bronx or you might be in Queens, but you still know that it's New York City. And I didn't want that to be a distraction. I just want that to kind of like linger, like where was the story being told? And so I know the conditions of Detroit and, in certain areas and what you're going to get in those areas. So, I want the story to be sort of, desolate and hopeless. And then towards the end, things start coming together and building, and everything around them builds as well. And that pays off in that last scene where they ride off into the light of downtown Detroit. And I think that's the first real reveal of where we're at, what city we're actually shooting in.
Right, exactly. So that was a nice way to tie the film together. But this film could have taken place anywhere in any urban setting. And one thing that was really positive about the film is that this film could happen in any type of cultural settings. It
Mm.
didn't have to just be, a black setting or a white setting, or Asian, Hispanic. It was just a story about, kids having conflict and trying to find themselves, and, family involved and so forth, which is good, and also with the positive outcome. So I commend you on that. A lot of times.
Can I just say something about
Mm-hmm.
Because these are some of the first reactions we're getting from the film. And to hear you say that even though this is a story taking place in an urban setting and the cast is cast of African American young boys, anyone can relate to it. And that is the exact response. That is what I wanted to get from this film. Even in the detail that we went into goes into even in the score, of the film, because a lot of people would assume that Black kids hip hop, and I wanted to introduce a music that I grew up listening to, which a lot of people don't know about, which is techno, which is actually from Detroit. And I had one of the guys who actually created techno music, Eddie Folks. He did the score, and so and that was another way of engaging the audience and making it more inclusive, because automatically people just assume, oh, young Black boys, hip hop. I didn't want to do that.
Exactly, which is really good, because just knowing the premise of the film, Black kids, basketball, urban setting. Okay, who gets killed? What happens? Who goes to jail and so forth? But it had a feel good ending to it, and a little comedic ending with the dual bicycle there, the double bicycle. So I just want to remind our audience that we're talking to the director of Coachable, Jake Alexander McAfee. If you have questions, please put them into the portal and we'll get to them as time allows. And we do have one question. Interesting. The question is, since you knew Allen Houston, did you get to meet any famous basketball players?
Oh, wow. Have I met any famous basketball players? I have, but not because of Allen Houston. I used to work for Spike Lee, and one week we shot a bunch of commercials for the NBA, and everyone from LeBron James. It was LeBron James's rookie year. It was Carmelo Anthony's rookie year. Yao Ming was there. Shaquille O'Neal was there. Ray Allen. I'm gonna miss Ryan Artest. There were a bunch of guys. It was like an NBA week for me, and I have a basketball with everyone that was in the commercial sign. I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, can you grab it and show it to us?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Sure.
Okay, he's gonna grab that. We're talking to the director of Coachable. Has a friendship with Allen Houston, and Allen Houston is also friends with Charles Oakley. For those of you who are watching us in the Cleveland area, Charles Oakley has ties to the Cleveland area, so they're friends. And Charles Oakley played with the New York Knicks as well too. So it's not just a basketball movie; it's a life movie as well too. So
I got a bummer for you guys. I can't bring it over here. I'm sorry. It's in a case and it'll take me too long to get to it.
Oh, that's quite all right. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. Okay, getting back to the film. I know you said you reshot one of the scenes. Is there anything else you would have done differently in this film?
Differently. I honestly can't say that there's anything that I would have done differently. More time for production. If you guys are ever in the filmmaking industry or in life in general, more time is always great. If there's anything that you want, is more time. So if there's anything that I regret, it's not having more time. A large group of my I want to give a shout out to the Boys and Girls Club of Detroit, because they facilitated the gym for us, and And as a partnership, I used some of the kids from their youth basketball program as basketball players in our film. So a lot of those kids had no acting skills. A few had no desire whatsoever to be actors. But they all walked away with a great experience and trying something new. So don't be afraid to try something new, even if it's something that you thought you never would have an interest in. Give it a shot. And if you don't like it, you can always say you tried.
Absolutely, and that's really good for kids to see that there's some possibilities for themselves to be seen on the screen. We have another question that's come in. It's a good question. Is what character do you identify with the most and why?
Oh wow. I think I relate more to the Quan.
Okay. Oh, really?
Because I guess in the film, he would be classified as the villain, if there were a villain. And the villain is always the most interesting character. Joker's way more interesting than Batman. And he's misunderstood. And you don't know exactly what's going on in other kids' lives behind closed doors. You see kids at school, and that's all you see. You don't see some kids when they go home and the things that they're dealing with. And so I don't know if identify is a good word. I think relate to.
Relate to,
so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I think relate.
Good. Okay, it's good. Another question we have is, why did you choose for the coach to have an Asian wife?
Because that's the way I see us going as a society. And he's also a coder.
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
He's gone to college. So he's had some experiences and he's had exposure to other things. And as you expose yourself to a larger world, you'll find other things of interest. So he and his wife found each other of interest and they got married, and that's why that story is what it is.
Right, it's a sign of reality too, and I think that whoever was asking that question was wondering if that was like a token character. But I didn't see it that way. I just saw it as, this is something that could, really, happen in life too.
Well, once again, it's to create a conversation, and we're having that conversation. So, but it was not a token character by any stretch of
No, I didn't see it that way as well too. Those are some good questions. So we're almost out of time. I know we could talk more and more, but
this is good, guys.
Can you tell let everyone know what's next for you? I know this film is in early distribution stage. What's next for this film and for you, and what can we look to see from you in the future?
Okay, well, in regards to Coachable, there's a lot of opportunities that's presenting itself in regards to local networks having an interest in showing it, and we're talking with a few cable companies to try and get it out to an audience that way. But we're also introducing the film in film festivals, and what's really cool about film festivals right now is that you don't have to travel to go to the film festival. It's right on your computer, just like we're doing this right now. So those are the things with Coachable. I just finished a television special. It's a story about a little girl who escapes to a park and goes on a musical adventure, and that is called Summer Stage. And that aired on television about 2 weeks ago, but it's available online. And if you wanted to find it, all you have to do is type in my name, Jake Alexander McAfee, and Summer Stage, and you'll find it. You'll find it that way.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Well, this has been a great pleasure having you join us today, giving us some insight on film and sports and life in general. It's really good just to combine all three areas together to, as you say, create conversation. So thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you, the audience, for taking part in this very invigorating and important conversation. For more information about the upcoming 45th Cleveland International Film Festival, please continue to follow CIFF on social media or visit clevelandfilm.org. I'm Eric Siler. Thank you.